Hello student. In environmental policies and practices, in this video we discuss on environmental laws part first. The environmental laws are nothing but the collection of law, regulation, agreements and common law that govern how humans interact with their environment. The main purpose of environmental laws is nothing but to protect the environment and create rules for how people can use natural resources. The Constitution of India clearly states that it is a duty of the state to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. Department of Environment was established in India in 1980. The Environment Protection Act 1986 came into force after the Bhopal gas tragedy one. And then after the large number of laws and regulations, those there came into existence as the problem began arising one. Because of the protection of environment is most important for given to the sustainable development. There are some environmental laws or acts, and these acts they are given to implemented for protection of forest, water, air, etc. etc. So which one are the laws one? There are majorly 6 laws. The first one are nothing but the Environment Act, those were established in 1986. Then second one, the Forest Act, those established in 1980. Then Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Water Act 1974, Air Act 1981, and the Indian Forest Act, those will be come in 1927. So all these acts they are implemented for given to protection and conservation of the natural resources as well as also the environment or the biodiversity one. Now here, what about the Indian environmental laws? All the Indian environmental laws they are concerned the law and policy of India, the protection of environment, those measures to taken a reserve climate change and achieve a zero carbon economy because they given to the pollution and affect the entire ecosystem one. The various different areas of environmental protection have been covered by a different laws, those drawn up at a different times. There are some areas covered by a different laws are nothing but air pollution, water pollution, Forest and Wildlife Protection Act 1, Waste Management Act, etc. etc. There are the one of the act are nothing but the Environment Protection Act, was established in 1986, is enforced by the Central Pollution Control Board and a numerous state pollution control boards one. Because of the main objectives given by Environment Protection Act are nothing but to provide the protection and improvement of environment and for matters connected therewith. The Act is one of the most comprehensive legislation with a pretext to protection and improvement of the environment. Because only the protection of environment given the implementation of the Environment Protection Act in 1986. There are some scope and applicability of environmental laws. Here, the Environment Act is applicable to the whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. And these acts they came into force on November 19, 1986. Now we just see about the Air Act. That means prevention and control of the air pollution. In this act, they are majorly given to the main objectives to protection of the pollution with an air one. So here the Air Act is established in 1980, is an act of the Parliament of India to control and prevent air pollution throughout the India one. The law was embedded in 1986 after the establishment. This was the first attempt by the government of India to combat air pollution. So, for the purpose of the protection, they are given to some objectives and scope regarding to Air Act 1. An act to provide for the prevention, control and abatement of air pollution. That is to minimizing the air pollution by a different way. Then second, it extends to the whole of India. That means applicable to throughout the India one. Become the second law for protection to the environment. The Water Act was introduced in 1974. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act is established in 1974 and it provides for the prevention and control of water pollution and to maintain or restore wholesomeness of water in the country. The Act to provide for the prevention and control of water pollution and maintaining or the restoring of the water given by the different purposes aforesaid upon a board for prevention and control of water pollution, for conferring on and assigning to such a board powers to control and protect the water one. The Water Act given to a main objects in which to provide a prevention, control and abatement of water pollution. Then also restore the water, and it is designed to assess pollution level and punish the polluters, because the different number of individuals or the components, they alter the composition of a water, so those they are punished by in the particular Water Act. The government formulated this act in 1974 to prevent the pollution of water by industries, agriculture, household wastewater that can contaminate our water sources. So, wastewaters with a high level of pollutants that enter wetland, river, lake, wells as the sea as are in a different areas and gives a serious health hazards on a people or the mankind. So, we minimize the pollutants under the act of the Water Act 1. Then after the next one act or the laws are nothing but Wildlife Protection Act, those introduced in 1972. The Indian Parliament enacted the Wildlife Protection Act in 1972, which provides for the safeguard and the protection of wildlife in the country, in which the protection of different number of animals and plants, because by the interference of the human being, they are given to the large number of plant and animals, they are endangered and also extinct one. So this act provides for the protection of a listed species of animal, birds, plants, and also for the establishment of the network of ecologically important protected areas in the countries, because under the Wildlife Protection Act there will be a given to minimizing the surveillance of the human being one. Protected areas, those will be under the Wildlife Protection Act. All of you know about. There are a different number of sanctuaries, national park, conservation reserves, community reserves, tiger reserves. They are protected under the Wildlife Protection Act throughout the India. In this environmental laws part first, we just see the different number of laws for protection of environment and create rules for how to people can use the natural resources. There are majorly the 6 laws, out of there will be we see air, water and wildlife one. The Indian environmental laws concern the law and policy of India concerning the protection of the environment only. Now all these, the first one part, they are given the some questions which For definition, environmental law. That is, what is environmental law? Then after, write short note on the Environmental Protection Act, and different acts are nothing but short note on Air Act, Water Act, Wildlife Protection Act. Then we see the different number of multiple choice questions. The first one, Department of Environment was established in India in the particular year. Options are given 1986, 1980 and 1972. Here the answer is 1980. That means Department of Environment was established in India in 1980. The second multiple choice question is the laws related to environmental protection and the wildlife. That means here ask how many numbers of laws. The options are first 6, then 7, then 10. The answer is 6 laws related to environmental protection and wildlife. The third multiple choice question is the Act established in 1974 has been intact to provide for the prevention and control of water pollution. That is, options are given, first one wildlife, second air and third water. Here the answer is water. The Water Act in 1974 has been intact to provide for the prevention and control of water pollution. I think all of you well known about the different laws, introductory part, and the Air Act, Water Act